Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Friday. It's chill stream. You know what that means. It's time to get freaky up in here. Kevin Cox is first in the house. What's up, my brother? Good to see you, my man. How are you? You get the gold star. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot cup of coffee and the letter Q. Do you have your hot cup of coffee? You want to have some coffee with Jake? If not, there's one down in the description. Check it out. I have laryngitis, so I'm going to be in and out for the duration of this podcast. I'll have voice, and then I won't have it. It's just the way it works. Amanda, good to see you. She says, hi, Jake. How are you tonight? And hi, chat. Good to see y'all. Happy Friday. I'm fantastic. I'm ready to rock and roll. Lisa Reen's in the house. Thank you. So lovely. This is a Father's Day gift. A lovely polyester blend, nice and smooth. Don't feel the ink. It's nice. Amanda says, hey, Kev, here's your gold star. And Amanda says, hey, Kev, good looking out this morning, man. Thank you very much. Kevin says, April will be with me soon. She is taking care of business. All right. How you doing, Lisa Reen? You doing well? Kevin says, hey, Amanda. Amanda says, hi, Lisa Reen. And I'm loving the shirt too, Jake. You'll notice it glistening. It's because I'm sweating in it. Because it's hot. It's polyester, but it's a pretty shirt, so I like it. Thank you. Lisa Reen says, don't ask. Okay, I won't. But I love you anyway. I hope you're doing okay. Kevin says, we have CJ tonight. Excellent. It's fantastic. Pardon me. My voice is like I'm being strangled. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's there, trust me. I barely made it through my show last night. I played over in Stokes, North Carolina, and I was hanging on by the skin of my teeth. I got through the show, though. We made it. And Amanda says, fun, Kevin. Enjoy. Always. Hit that like button, everybody. Press the subscribe bell icon, all that stuff if you want to do the things. You know, super chat in the chat box. Links in the description below. You know how it goes. Because you're a trooper. I am a trooper. A super trooper. With a mustache to fit. All I need is some of those mirrored sunglasses with the mirrors on the inside. You know, like the cops in Georgia have. You get stopped not wearing your seatbelt there. You're in for a good time, smart ass. Yeah, those guys. Apparently I'm sick and I don't feel it. I've been spiking a fever past couple of days, but I don't feel sick. I feel great. I just can't talk. So it just might be, who knows, pollen or summertime or my mustache is getting too unruly. Who knows? Could be anything. Either way, I'm here having a good time, and I hope you will be too. Tonight is Friday night, so it's, thank God it's over night, and we'll be moving into the weekend. Tomorrow night will be Politics episode 3, and it should be off the chain. And I'm hoping it will be anyway. Could be sympathy pains. I doubt it, though. If I had some bourbon, I'd drink it, Kev. But I don't have any bourbon. I have coffee, though, and I'm drinking it. I have my coffee, and I'm not afraid to use it. LEDs, Polish game changers, and other dumb jokes. What's your favorite dumb joke? I'm voting for Sasquatch for president. Well, I have another 6'8" guy in mind, but you know, you do you, boo. Did you get my message, by the way? And why didn't you call me back if you did? What do you call two crows stuck together? Fucking birds. Linda Davis in the house. Hello, Linda Davis. Good to see you. Velcro. I see. Velcro. I got it. I would have said the other thing, but Velcro works. I like it. That was a dumb joke. Good. Kev, what's your favorite dumb joke? Linda, how you doing tonight? Lisa Reen ain't talking to me. I wonder why. Linda says, hey, Kevin, Amanda. Kevin says, hey, Linda. I'm squeaking over here, doing the best I can do, but I'm going to get through it one way or the other. Bill, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Come on in, take your shoes off, set a spell. It's going to be fantastic. I can feel it in my bones. I'm going to blow your mind. So anyway, it's been an interesting couple of days. What's 3 two-letter words you don't want to hear when you're making love? 3 two-letter words. Is it in? Is it in? Yep. Fab Daddy's in the house. What's up, Fab Daddy? Happy sweat day. Happy sweat day. Amanda says, hey, Bill and Fab Daddy. And Kevin says, hey, Fab Daddy. Fab Daddy, what's your favorite dumb joke? It to say. There's 3 other words you don't want to hear. Do you know how hard it is to come up with 3 two-letter words? That are not, is it in? Or, oh, me too. How about that? That'd be a 3-letter word. T-O-O. Never mind. Forget what I said. Linda says, hot. The power just came back on. It's been out for most of the day. Well, that's not good at all. What happened to your power? Forget to pay the bill, or are they working on it? Linda said, yeah, Amanda, especially since it's 95 today. Hot. Yeah, it does suck. What's 3 words you don't want to hear when you're making love? My husband's home. Or, I have herpes. Or, Don't pull out. What else? Russian says something in Russian about Chechnya. And Amanda says, I hear you, Linda. It's hot in Florida, too. We have heat warnings. Fab Daddy says, what's the last thing on a fly's mind when it hits a windshield of a car traveling at 60 miles an hour? It's butt. Correct. I bet he don't have guts enough to do that again. Amanda says, LOL, Jake. Lisa Reen says, we got troubles here in my home. Not mine, but my child. Oh, no. So it's mine, too. My baby girl. All will be well at some point, I pray. I'm giving it to God. Well, Lisa Reen will be praying for you, honey. I don't like the idea of you being in trouble. If you need anything, reach out. Rachel Floyd in the house. Hey, Rachel, good to see you, sweetie. And Amanda says, praying for you, Lisa Reen. Absolutely. Fabrizio Perugia says, have you ever heard the band 𝕌𝕟𝕥𝕙𝖼𝕣𝕖𝕕𝕃𝕚𝕚? I have not. But they sound like they're excellent. Linda says, hi, Rachel. Kevin says, did you hear about the Polak who locked his family inside the car? He left his keys in the ignition and couldn't find a way to unlock the doors. Cold Creek Croft, a grasshopper walks into a bar. All are stunned. The bartender says, do you know we have a drink named after you? And the hopper frowns and says, you've got a drink named Earl? Very nice. Very nice dumb joke. I like the joke. Two Jews walked into a bar, and the other one ducked. Russian says, God bless you, bye. Bye, Russian. Thanks for being here. And God bless you too, by the way. Amanda says, hi, Rachel. One and only Carter says, much love from West Virginia. Country roads take me home. Good to see you, West Virginia. Thanks for being here. Fab Daddy says, I came home to find my wife sliding down the stair banister. I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm warming up dinner. Nice. Kevin says, it took him an hour to get them out. Fabrizio says, 𝕌𝕟𝕥𝕙𝕣𝕖𝕕𝕃𝕚𝕚 is a power metal band. I kind of figured that by the name. Sounds like a power metal band. It's not really my thing, but I dig it. Amanda says, LOL Fab. And hi, Cold Creek Croft. One and only Carter says, Mountain Mama, take me home. It's a good song. Cole says, a priest, a rabbi, and an insurance salesman stuck in a boat off the island, but sharks in between. The priest says, God will protect me, and swims out and gets eaten. Same with the rabbi. The salesman makes it. Native on the shore asks why. The insurance salesman shrugs and says, professional courtesy. Yeah. Because they're sharks. Didn't want to make him a lawyer, didn't you? That's all right. I understand. Cole, how you been, buddy? Good to see you. It's been forever. You don't call, you don't write. I've been worried about you. Yes, I do think about you when I turn off this live stream. Here's a good one. Knock knock joke. We all know them. But you have to start. Knock knock. Knock, knock. Well, I guess nobody's home. I'm going home. Who's there? Boo. I say boo. Amanda says, don't cry, it's only a joke. Don't kill the punchline before we get to it. He ain't even asked boo-hoo yet. Cole says, just a bait gag. And I called you on it. It's a good joke, though. What do you get when you cross a tiger with a parakeet, Cole? Rachel says, how is everyone? Fantastic. Coal Creek Cross says, I used to be a highway patrolman. Did you know that? But I was fired because of my dyslexia. I kept handing out tickets for IUDs. Dana! Dana's in the house. Hey, darling, how are you? She says, hi, I'm new here. Is that not? Oh, that's a different. Yeah, I see, smiley face. You're not new here. You know who you are. Amanda says, I'm good, Rachel. And Cold Creek Croft says, a bird that can say what it wants. True. The punchline is, I don't know, but you better listen when he's talking. Amanda says, hi, Dana. And Dana says, hi, Amanda. And Amanda says, what's 6 inches long, has a head on it, and all women love it? Yes. Cold Creek Croft says, the other day our house caught on fire. My wife yelled, shut up, kids. You'll wake your father. $100 bill. Excellent. That's a good joke. Cole says, damn, Amanda, I was trying to be general audience. Afraid to guess, right? I just assumed it was me, but you never know. That's what happens in the sociopath's mind anyway. It's been a relatively good weekend, aside from the laryngitis. Had a good show last night. Decent turnout. Got some nice big old thick 1-inch pork chops out of the deal. It's always nice when they feed you. That's what I had for dinner tonight, leftovers. Amanda says, y'all dirty minds. Yeah. Amanda says, well, what goes in hard and dry and comes out wet and sticky? I'll let you answer that. Kevin says, hey, everybody, it's April. It's April typing. Kevin's driving. CJ's on my phone. And Kevin's phone doesn't come equipped with periods or commas. Cold Creek Croft says, an old woman is tired of life and decides to end it by shooting herself in the heart. Wants to do it right, though, so she asks the doctor exactly where the heart is located. And he says, right below your right nipple. That would be bad. It hurt, but it wouldn't kill you. So she goes home and does herself in the knee, right below her right nipple. I got it, because they sag. That's pretty funny. Chewing gum. Chewing gum goes in hard and dry and comes out wet and sticky. Fab Daddy says, hey, April. And by the way, hey, April. I didn't mean to get sidetracked. Amanda says, hi, April. Much love. Cold Creek Croft says, oops. Actually, that's the left side. This is my right side. Ooh. The left side is where the heart is. It's actually in the middle, but don't tell anybody, because everybody does this when they pledge allegiance. It's actually right here. Odd Unit, welcome back. So what's this all about? The same thing it was last time you were here, Odd Unit. Lisa Reed says, that's messed up, Cole. Kevin Cox says, I'll get on the like and rewatch. Kevin's hit his headphones, and I'm about to take one. What are we talking about? Rachel hit me with a $9.99 super chat, and she says number 10. Excellent. IDK. Well, thank you very much, Rachel. I appreciate you, sweetheart. That's fantastic. What are you taking one? You're about to take one what? And please do hit the like button and rewatch. Kevin says, Amanda, much love. Heart, heart, heart. Amanda says, just chilling, whatever topic comes up, Odd. That's right. Tonight's Friday night. We're just relaxing and hanging out. That's all. So if you got something to talk about, bring it up. We'll talk about it. Cold Creek Croft says, I'm starting to run out. Advanced apologies since I did not get there first. Why must women wear panties when parachuting? I don't know why. Kevin says, MVTV, good to see you, love. Or April says that. Cole says Kevin or April, depending on who you're looking at. Amanda says, that one is nasty, Cole, LOL. I didn't hear the punchline. Woohoo. Rachel, thanks, hon, says Amanda. Odd Unit says, just 3 easy payments of $9.99. Only if you wish to, Odd. I'll take it. It's not necessary, though. But it's lovely. Cole says, so they don't whistle on the way down. Not sure what that means, though. I'm not either. I'd be more worried about, having the old plastic bag effect. I don't think either one of those are possible, but it's nice to think about. Good gracious. Kevin says, nice, Rachel. Thanks, love, so much. Yes, thank you. Also, if you guys haven't seen the brand new Untethered Live Facebook page, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to go check that out, I do appreciate you. And you can get to know each other and share videos and pictures and keep up with all things Untethered Live universe. Amanda says, I heard a different answer to that one, Cole. I'm not sure I want to know. Rachel says, I'm super depressed, so I just wanted to give you $10. Well, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you very much, and I hope that your depression breaks. If it helps to know, I greatly depend on your presence. So it's very nice of you to be here. You are needed. You are appreciated. Amanda says, subscribe, share, support, and join. And by the way, super chats are available in the chat box. Cold Creek Croft says, what would that be, Amanda? Yeah, what did you hear? Amanda says, oh, Rachel, I'm here, hon. You know how to reach me. Thanks, Amanda, says Rachel. Odd Unit says, I'm so damn broke. I can probably afford half a truck with no motor. Well, I'm so broke I can't even pay attention. How about that? Odd, it is not a requirement for you to super chat, buddy. Kevin Cox hit me with a $19.99 while I was saying that. He says, thanks for being you. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you, buddy. You're amazing. You're amazing, a scholar and a gentleman, sir. Or April. You're amazing and you're beautiful and lovely. Depending on whoever's holding the phone. I don't know who. Amanda says, so their lips don't flap together on the way down. I like his better. Dana says, a woman tells her doctor she has pain everywhere and points and touches with her finger all over her body, and the doctor tells her, well, lady, your finger's broken. Very nice. I like that one, Dana. That's a good one. The best joke I heard this month was, I had a doctor's appointment today, and my doctor told me, he said, Jake, you absolutely have to stop masturbating. And I was like, geez, doc, why? He goes, because I'm trying to give you an examination. That's a good joke. Amanda says, LOL, Dana. Coker Cross says, excellent, Dana. That would have been popular in the ERs. Yes, it would have. Walter Davis in the house. What's up, Walter? Good to see you, my brother. How are you doing, sir? How are things at the farm? I feel like I've seen that one before. Dana's smiling. Lovely to see you smile. I loved it. I love a smiling lady. I think that's the best sight in the world. It's next to a baby. Babies are better, but only just. Amanda says, hi, Walter. And woohoo, thanks, Kev. Shahin HS says, what cars can you buy with $50,000 in your country? All of them. All of them. Cole says, yo, Walter Davis. Kevin says, I hear you now. Excellent. Odd says, what do you call 5 white guys sitting on a bench? Replacements at the NBA? Or a dugout? I don't know. What do you call it? The NBA. Okay, I got it. White guys. White guys ain't got... The only white guy ever had business playing basketball was Larry Bird. Lisa Green says, mine, you can buy my car, Shahin. Or is that Shane? Are you being kitschy with it? Is it Shane? I think it's Shahin. Or Shaheen. Shaheen? Shaheen? Whatever. Amanda says, LOL, odd. Coker Cross says, I like the sophisticated humor that makes you think. Yes, I do too. I love clever humor. I like the kind of joke that you don't even get when you hear it. 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up going, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that. That's a good joke. Kevin says, you're welcome, and thanks, Jake. I love you. It's April, but Kevin had to send it with his face recognition, LOL. Well, I'm glad your face is useful, Kevin. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, and I love you both. And thank you both, by the way. You know what for. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean that. You have a chit in my pocket. Cheyenne HS says, what kind of car do you have, Lisa-Reen? I might buy it for $50,000. $50,000. Kevin says, good one. And welcome in, everybody. And Dana says, a doctor diagnoses a man with multiple personality disorder and charges him $200. And the guy gives him $1 and tells him to get the rest from the other multiple lunatics. Nice. Very nice. Kevin Cox says, Lisa-Reen, good to see you. Amanda says, why do little boys run faster than little girls? Well, I know the answer to that, but I'll refrain. Why? Boys have ball bearings and stick shift. Yeah, I think you need wheels for that, but I like where your head's at. Reminds me of something Confucius said once. Kevin Cox says, Walter, good to see you. And Walter says, hey, Jake, Amanda, Kevin, Dana, Montana, Rachel, Odd, Sheehan, and April. Dana says, hi, Walter Davis, Hart. Kevin says, everyone is good. Rachel, thanks, hon. You? And hi, Dana. Amanda says, what do you call a cow with its titties dragging the ground? Dragon milk? Are you just making up jokes? Dragon milk? I like it, but never heard that before. Kevin says, or April says, LOL, I love you true, and I love you true too. Thank you for being here. Don't rush off now, you hear? I do apologize for my throat. I'm very likely going to lose my voice before this podcast is over. I've been saving it up for it, so I apologize for the creakiness and the scratchiness. I'm doing the best I can, though. Walter says, Rachel, genetics. Just the same reason they can swim faster and should not allow men to compete. What are we talking about? Did I miss one? I must have missed one. Cold Creek Croft says, could Lois Lane survive sleeping with Superman? Pause to consider. Yes. Walter says, hi, Lisa-Reen. And Lisa-Reen says, good to be here, Kev. And April, jokes help. Yes. All right. Superman's flying along. And he looks over and he sees Batman fighting crime. And he waves at him and flies on by. And he flies a little further and he sees Spider-Man. And he's over there fighting Dr. Octopus. And he waves at him and flies on by. And he's flying down around Rhode Island, and he comes up close to the beach, and he sees Wonder Woman laying out on the beach. She's on her belly, and she's sunning. And he says, man, that's a good-looking woman. You know, I'm Superman. I could go down there, get a piece, and fly away, and she wouldn't even know I was there. I'm that fast. And so he goes, and flies away, and Wonder Woman sits up, and she goes, what was that? And the Invisible Man sits up beside her and says, I don't know, but my ass is killing me. April says, Kevin says, anytime, and you're welcome. And I say, lobe you and yours always. Well, I lobe you too. Olive juice. Dana says, hi, Kevin Cox. Heart. Dragon milk is a beer. Is it? I didn't know that. Sounds like something that would be a thing, though. Amanda says, I'm trying to be good, LOL, but do be good. There are children coming in here. We don't want to get too crazy. Odd says, I told a dead baby joke, and it got removed. Is that too far? Did you tell it here? Amanda, did you remove a dead baby joke? Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't handle that. So if it is, don't tell that joke. And I apologize. But if one of my moderators removed a joke, it was for the good of the community. It was not against you. The only way it would be against you is if you did something disrespectful to somebody in the chat, and then they would time you out for that. But I don't know. I didn't see it. Kevin says it's a dark beer. April says it's a dark beer. I did not know. Cold Creek Crop says, general response. When questioned, I tell you everything. Just meet me on the corner of F off and none of your business. Dang. I'm close to pulling out of the Bennett Surf books. I'm close to pulling out the Bennett Surf books. Get that reference, youngins? I'm guessing that's a self-help artist. I'm not really sure. I've heard the name, but I can't place it. Kevin says, or April says, odd. Yes. Okay. So April must have pulled that joke. So yeah, that might be too far. Odd says, bummer. I've got tons of dark humor. Dark humor's okay, Odd. Just don't get disrespectful, you know. There are a lot of ladies in here, so consider that when telling your jokes. That's all. But thank you. No worries. Rules are rules. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Cold Creek Crop says, odd unit, it depends. I didn't do it, but I didn't see it either. Is it the one of which is easier to unload a truckload of DBs or a load of rocks? Forget the punchline. Yeah, let's not go down that road. It's apparently a sensitive subject, so we don't want to mess with that. Linda says, hi, Walter. I'm a happy woman, and the AC is back on. Well, God bless both of y'all, and I'm sorry your power's been out all day. That sucks. I wish I could have done something to help you. Kevin says, well, don't do any dark humor, dead jokes. Come on, man. Okay. So that April is one of our moderators, and she says no, so no is what the word is. So let's not do any dark humor. And Odd Unit says, Cole, it was the paint the barn one. No, we got it. Cold Creek Croft says, actual scientists. So I hear calculated that Superman's end result would tear her apart like a rail gun. Not according to Superman 3, the movie. So I'm pretty sure they banged in that movie. But I see your point. Walter says, did the Flash's girlfriend get anything out of it? Probably not. Very quick. Quick on the draw. Cold Creek Croft says, same scientists with deep studies of Bigfoot, too, I think. Bigfoot's a freak. I'm pretty sure of it. Cold Creek Croft says, Walter Davis, wow. Now I've got questions. And more are piling up with all the superheroes. Yes. Amanda says, nope, not me. Okay. Well, we know we've solved that mystery, so let's not go there. We got a lady in the house, so we got to man up. Walter says, Montana, I think there was a reason they were all single. Now that you think about it, they were all single. Except Superman did hook up with Lois Lane for a little while. But they ultimately became single. Spider-Man hooked up with Mary Jane for a little while. And then they broke up because of his responsibilities or whatever. Batman had a string of girlfriends but never got serious with any of them. So go figure. Being a superhero is a lonely life. And plus, it's not that interesting to read about a superhero that's, carving out family time. That's probably the reason they were all single. But I'm just guessing. Delete if desired. I may do it myself, says Cold Creek Croft. P.S. For the record, I heard the most baldy jokes as the only male on a nurse's floor. Locker room levels, you go girls. I'm not suggesting they can't handle it, but there are some subjects that are touchy. So there's a reason for that, and that's good enough for me. I don't need to question it anymore. Walter says, hey, honey, I'm home. I'm dressed like Superman. Look out. You go, boy. Colquitt Croft says, I retracted myself without any gags about cold water. Oops. Kevin Cox says, thanks, Jake and Linda. It's good to see you. It's me. What do you call a boomerang that don't come back? A stick. Nice. That's a good dumb joke. I like it. Everybody's trying to get all esoteric in here. I'm just spitballing dumb jokes, like, bottom of the barrel jokes. Like, what's grosser than gross? 10 people in a garbage can. What's grosser than that? 1 person in 10 garbage cans. Charles Johnson, I like your last name. You have a brother. Looks like his name is Aiden. He's a terror guy, like tarot cards. I do not have a brother. Kevin says, LOL, it's me. Walter says, Catwoman was just too kinky, LOL. She was kind of a freak, wasn't she? Yeah. I do not have a brother, and I don't believe in tarot cards, so. Cold Creek Croft says, I'm not denying they hooked up in the canon, but it was a thought exercise, kind of like my thoughts about Wonder Woman, huh? No, your thoughts about Wonder Woman is a teenager's exercise. Like, lift. But I understand what you're saying. And I don't know if they ever directly showed them hooking up, but I'm pretty sure they did. I can read between the lines. They were definitely friendly. Kevin says, what did the girl from Arkansas say to the man she laid with? I don't know. What? Get off me, Daddy. You're crushing my cigarettes. Nice. That's a good one. Odd says, the only idea that's flat fear is fear itself. That's a good one, too. That's one of those clever jokes. The only idea that flat fears is sphere itself. Meow, here, kitty kitty, says Amanda. Oh, easy, girl. Cole says, I can't win. I finally resorted to an inflatable lady. Only now, I have an inflatable man after me. Is it that wacky wailing inflatable flinging arms guy? You know the one I'm talking about? Is that guy after you in your dreams? Wacky, wavy, inflatable arms man. Wavy arms man. I can't remember how that goes. What do you call a blind deer? No idea. What do you call a blind deer that has no legs? Still no idea. What do you call a blind deer with no legs and no pecker? Still no effing idea. Nice, Odd Unit. You nailed it. That's a good one. Cold Creek Croft says, my parents took away my sandbox because the cat kept covering me up. What else was he doing in there? LOL odd. Kevin says, we just saw 12 cops flying by us on I-4. OMG. I didn't do it. I'm in North Carolina. Wasn't me. I don't know what's going on. I don't either. JG, I bet you have a take on space creatures. Sure I do. What would you like to know? Well, it is Friday night, says Amanda. Yep, it is Friday. There's probably something going on. Probably some kind of bust somewhere. Kevin says, we're coming by at 75 North. Aussie, welcome back. Good day, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Aussie. How you doing? Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back by. We're telling dumb jokes. You got any? Amanda says, hi, Aussie. Welcome back. Super duper. JG says, we have a conventional alien in mind. Thanks to Hollywood, Alf, etc. But who is to say? I am to say. There's no such thing as aliens, JG. Sorry to disappoint you. There's nothing out there. It's just us. I bet you're wondering how I know that, too. Ozzy says, hey, Amanda, how are you? Andy Smith says, how many genders are there? Well, how many do you think there are, Andy Smith? But better yet, how about hello? That's a good way to enter a room instead of throwing out your ideology right up front. How about that? How about you go back and tell your mommy that you need a lesson in manners because there's adults here and it's clearly marked no children allowed, so. Well, there you go. You answered your own question now. Ask why you felt the need to ask that question in the first place. Hello would have been better, but hello, back to you. Amanda says, I'm good, Ozzy. Thanks. How are you? Rachel says, I don't feel good. I'll see you guys later. I'll text you later on, Amanda. Well, I hope you feel better, Rachel. I'm sorry you don't feel good tonight, but just hang in there. You're tough. You can do it. Drink you a cup of coffee and go lay down. I bet you'll feel better in the morning. And we love you. Text Amanda. Y'all get to do some girl talk. Kevin says, true. Uh-oh. True, but there is something going on. LPD and Hillsboro both. Wow. I'll check tomorrow about it. Could be in the newspaper. Stefan, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Amanda says, good night, Rachel. And okay, I'm here. Okay, hun, I'm here. Amanda says, hi, Stefan. And Ozzy says, I'm good, thanks. Saturday morning here. Just got back from watching my kids play netball. Did you say Saturday morning? Are you calling us from the future? Because it's Friday night here. Ozzy, you're a time traveler. I'm talking to somebody in the future, everybody. How's that for aliens? JG? Oh, I see. Andy says, because I was getting gaslit earlier in some stream about how I was wrong, so I needed my positive affirmations. Well, Andy, you've come to the right place, my friend. There will be none of that here. We're just trying to have a conversation and get to know each other. So, hello, and how are you? Brian Sherrill, you have a booger. No, I do not. Obviously, you don't live stream, because if you did, you'd know I'm looking at myself as we speak. Walter says, there are many genders as you want, but only two. Uh-oh, skipped. Bad time to skip, hang on. But only two is the correct answer. Yes, there are only two, and nobody cares. That is so old, so childish. I'm so sick of hearing about it. It's not your fault, Andy, but it's a question that gets asked a lot, and usually for the other reason. And I can't believe that we're having this conversation. Odd Unit says, it doesn't matter your reason. It was disrespectful. Well, thank you, Odd. Well, we've settled it now, and I think Andy understands what we're doing here. So you have a chance. Just tell us who you are and what you're into. And be nice. And Amanda says, nice, Ozzy. Time traveler. That's amazing. Stefan says, Rachel, prayers. Nice. Thank you, Stefan. Linda says, hi, Stefan. And Stefan says, hi, Linda. And Dave Manning says, Trump 2024. Your Section 8 ass crybaby liberals. Walter says, trust the science, except for chromosomes. Them is bullshit. Yeah. Trust the science unless it disagrees with us. Dana says, LOL. I have seen funny avatar on YouTube called Jean-Claude Van Damme. It cracked me up. Oh, Jean-Claude's damn van. I got it. I have seen a funny avatar. Is avatar, what do you mean by avatar? Are you talking about parody? Avatar usually means something in place of something else, but Jean-Claude's damn van. It seems like I've heard about that. I haven't seen it, but I have heard about it. What was funny about it? Kevin says, or April says, Stefan, hi, good to see you. And Andy says, I'm good. I'm here in North Carolina. Where are you? I'm here in North Carolina as well, Andy. Go Tar Heels or something. Aussie says, I've got some great Aussie slang sayings. Yes, I do need another flux capacitor. Ha ha. Well, Aussie, I would love to hear some Australian slang. That sounds like a good time to me. So lay it on us. Jordan Scott Mills. Howdy, guys. Welcome back, Jordan. Good to see you. Amanda says, hi, Jordan. Jordan says, did I miss most of the stream or no? Well, you're about halfway. You ain't missed much. We're just getting into it good. Andy says, nope, I agree. It's the most bizarre conversation. It really is. Amanda agrees. We're just getting going good, Jordan, so you ain't missed much. Ozzy says, Jordan, hi. You've started HVAC yet? Or hi. You've started HVAC. Yeah. I think that's what he meant to say. Cole says, Dana, unless you know, you should check out Space Ice and his Van Damme reviews or any. It just kills me laughing each time. If you like the absurdity and some in-context cussing, youtube.com at Space Ice. That sounds like fun. He did do a TV show, Jean-Claude Van Damme, called Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which I heard was good. I haven't watched that either. But I usually like the stuff he's in, except for the direct-to-DVD movies that he did just for money, you know, where he's barely acting and they're not very good, and you can tell that by the cover, let alone the storyline, usually in French or something like that. Any of his mainstream movies, I've usually liked those. So I like his personality. Walter says, hi, Stefan, and hi, Dave. And Dave says, yes, sir, MAGA. Make America gyrate again. My mouth is as dry as a dingo's donga. Nice. Dingo's donger. I know what that is. And it must be pretty dry because you're in a desert. That's even funnier. We just have words in the South, where I'm from, that nobody else has. Like, guess you oughta and fixin' to. Jordan says, hi, Amanda. And okay, awesome. Thanks. I just got off the horn with customer service, so I'm glad I can chill for a bit. Awesome. Amanda says, dang, Ozzy, that's a good one. And Dave says, you got a sub, my friend. Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Come on in, take your shoes off. It's going to be a good time. I promise you that. Cold Creek Crop says, considering Australia is 15 hours ahead of New York, they're always technically in the future. That just blows my mind. Like, I got to leave here on a plane and arrive yesterday. That's wild. Amanda says, thanks, Dave. Welcome to the show. Jordan says, Ozzy, if you mean like ACs and heating, nope, I don't know much about it, to be frank. Didn't you say the last time you were here that you were into HVAC? I think that's where he's getting that from. Andy says, I'm in the mountains. You know where Hanging Rock is. Like, is that like Asheville area? That's about 5 hours from where I'm at. I'm on the East Coast, and you know where Greenville, North Carolina is? I'm in that area. ECU. That's the college in my town. Cold Creek Croft says, Ozzy, a few years ago, I met an Aussie guy in Glacier. I was giving him a ride, and he looked over at me in distress about how he needed to cop a bog. Do a what? Almost crashed laughing. I'm guessing that means use the bathroom. Cop a bog. Unfortunately, Ozzy, you may either be insulted by this or you may think it's hilarious. But I only know one thing in Australian. I don't really speak the language, but I know that's not a knife. That's a knife. That's it. That's all I know. Dave says, you're welcome, Amanda. Get Lasered says, hi again, Ned. Howdy do, neighbor. Good to see you. Dana says, Jay, your avatar is Untethered Live. Right. Right, that's the thing instead of me. I just didn't understand how you phrased that sentence. But I think I got it. I'm not real sure, but I think I got it. And Amanda says, welcome to the group, Dave. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. I got over 1,000 videos. I suggest strongly you watch Hyperbole for a little sardonic humor. I think you'll like that. I have 4 shows going at one time, so you'll get your fill of everything. A little bit of everything. The only thing I don't do is drama. Ozzy says, Amanda, you like that one? I'm sweating like Michael Jackson at the Wiggles concert. Oh, my God. That's funny. Amanda says, LOL, Ozzy. Odd Unit says, good night, sir. Had a blast. I'll catch you next time. I subscribed. Thank you, Odd Unit. Welcome. Come see us. And good night. Kevin says, I am now me and done driving. A lot of red and blue lights tonight. Don't mess around and get pulled over. Amanda says, good night, Odd Unit, and thank you much. And Linda Davis says, that's great, Odd. See you next time. Yeah, we're growing. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Welcome back, Kev. I got to keep my chat from jumping. Ozzy says, Cold Creek Croft, cop a big ha 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 ha. Another term for hanging a shit. Cop a bog, right. Is it bog or big? Cop a big? Cop a bog. Either way. Jeremy Moore says, can I get a Trump 2024? No, you cannot. How dare you? This is a liberal channel. We don't subscribe to such nonsense here. Blink if you can hear me. Ozzy says, blind as a welder's dog. Are you sure you guys aren't just rednecks? Because I think you guys are like rednecks. That's how I see Australians, is they're like the south of the west. Something like that. Something like that. Or east, or however. The south of the east, yes. You guys are below that equatorial Mason-Dixon line, if you know what I'm saying. And he says, I went to school at ECU. I'm very close to Winston-Salem, if you know where that is. I do. I went to school at ECU, too. I didn't go to college there, but I had lots of fun there for about 12 years. Ozzy says, that's what I thought that Jordan said. He was studying HVAC. I thought he said that too, Ozzy. Either he's trolling us or I have to go back and look. It may have been another person, but I thought it was him too. God's Will. Howdy, Jake, Amanda, Rachel, and everybody else. Hey, God's Will. Good to see you. Glad you could drop by. Linda says, I have to go get the kid from work. I'll be back soon. Be careful, Linda. And Jordan says, Jake, I don't believe I did. I've done some remodeling, construction, and stuff, and moved a few ACs in my day. But no, I doubt I said I was doing that. I said I am a welder because I am, but that's it. I'm not disagreeing with you, Jordan. He and I saw the same thing, which is why we both thought that. It may not have been you. It could have been somebody else. It was a crazy night that night. So your name just might stick out because you were new that night. I'm not accusing you of anything. And it's okay if you didn't say that. That's what I thought. Amanda says, hi, God's Will. And okay, Linda, be safe. And Derek Roan says, strong hearts live in America. I think that's what that says. And Jordan says, Aussie, sorry for any misunderstanding, but no, not me. I have worked with a lot of trades in my time, but not really much in the HVAC. I spoke about needing my welder certificate before, though. It's possible that we conflated a conversation that just seemed like that, because like I said, I thought that too, and I have no reason to think that other than when he brought it up, I remembered that. So he's probably remembering the exact same thing I remember, and it's probably somebody else that was next to you that said it or something like that. Man, it says drama-free zone, right? April says, hi, everybody, I'm here. Yay. Good to see you, April. Jordan says, oh, hey, Linda, be safe. Derek Roan says, smiley face, or indifferent face, whatever that is. Ozzy says, I still dig Crocodile Dundee. A croc just walked past our front door with a kangaroo in its mouth. Ha! Wow. Amanda says, 8-ball, oh, 8-ball, is tonight going to be a wild night? 8-ball says, it might actually be, yes. God's Will says, no drama, but y'all should check out Jake's OnlyFans, LOL. Yes, it's nothing but feet and knees, but you'll love it. Gets dirty in there. April says, LOL, Amanda. And Derek Roan says, Trump 2024. Strong arms live with love in America. Aussie says, Jordan, it's all good, mate. I probably mixed you up with someone else. That's what I'm thinking may have happened. Because like I said, we had the same thought. Derek Roan says, crying laughing. Natalie Hopkins says, Natalie, hi. Natalie, hi. And April Rain hit me with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much, April Rain, with the cute little egg head with the big heart. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. Much love. God bless you all. And hi, Natalie. Amanda says, LOL, God's Will. I love Jake's OnlyFans page. Scarbin, Nebraska's back. What's up, Nebraska? Good to see you. Aussie says, similar to the South, Aussie bogans below the equator. Interesting. Is the equator go through Australia or is it below the equator? I'm not real sure about that one. I know it's close, but I don't know if it's actually on the equator or if it's below it. I guess down under would mean it would be below it, right? Charlie Johnson says, where is Aiden? Your brother. Ooh, you look a lot alike. Well, Charlie, again, I don't have a brother. And God's Will says, it's the best OnlyFans page. Wow. Now I might have to go make one. Absolutely, God's Will, says Amanda. And April says, hey, Charlie, Aussie, Nebraska, Natalie, Derek, and God's, welcome. And thank you, April. And Jordan says, accusing me of being a tradesman, 𝕌𝕟𝕥𝕙𝖼𝕣𝕖. I've been accused of far worse. So if that's all you're saying, that's just fine. Well, thank you. I didn't intend to offend. God's Will, says Amanda, it is cheesy. Or is it cheesy if I laugh at my own joke? No, it's not. Sometimes you're hilarious. I laugh at a lot of my own jokes. Usually because nobody else gets them, but whatever. I'm still laughing, says God's Will. Aussie says, April, good day. How are you? Well, and Amanda says, LOL, God's Will, never. If you can't make yourself laugh, then how is anyone else going to laugh, right? And thank you for the super chat. April says, woohoo, thanks, April. Alien Magi says, nice stash. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Both feet. And, you know, I know you're hungry, but both feet, is that what that says? Nebraska says, bro, you hopefully know that Trump is getting paid by big oil and the same billionaires the Democrats obey too. Bro, we get our oil from Saudi Arabia, who just put forth legislation in their country to get rid of the petrodollar, meaning they're getting away from American dollars, meaning they're not paying anybody right now. So, yes, I understand that most politicians are bought and paid for, but they're not bought and paid for by big oil. They're bought and paid for by the Soroses and the like, and the World Health Organization and the WEF and all of that stuff. World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, things like that. Things you don't know anything about. But you are right. And I'm sure that Trump has an agenda. But I'm also sure that he's not part of that club. Because if he was, they wouldn't be trying so hard to immediately illiterate him. And I said the wrong word, but you know what I meant. Eliminate him. But I don't disagree with you. I do think all of them have some form of agenda. April says, I'm good, Aussie. How are you? And thanks for asking, love. God's Will says, hey, everybody, take a moment and hit that like button, please. There's 16 current people in the chat, and there's only 12 likes. That math don't add up, so please do your part and hit that thumbs up. It's good for the channel. It helps us out. And that's what we all want. And Amanda says, subscribe, share, support, join the channel. And by the way, there's a super chat available in the chat box if you want to show some love. Jack M says, why is the world so brainwashed? What happened? Please tell me. I will tell you. Okay. This is what happened. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a guy named Spock wrote a book. And no, I'm not talking about Star Trek. He's a Jewish feller. And he wrote a book called something about parenting. And in that book, he said some auspicious things and laid out some ways to raise children that did not involve what the Bible tells you is the way to raise children. And so people started gravitating towards that idea. And then we had an entire generation born to the baby boomers called Gen X. And Gen X grew up and had children, and they decided they were not going to raise their children the way their parents raised them, that they were going to have everything they could possibly want and not need for anything. It was a genuinely wholesome idea. We're going to take care of our kids. Well, in doing so, they became helicopter parents and the opposite of latchkey parents, and they smothered their children with Nerf, and they didn't expose them to the world. And that generation took over the world. And now we have people coming from that world that have no experience whatsoever, no hardship whatsoever, no toughness whatsoever, no idea how to form an actual thought and think it through and come to a conclusion. They don't know how to do that. They think in TikTok videos. That's what's wrong with the world. The number one thing was taking God away from children, because that's, if you grow up with that framework in your mind, you learn to view the world through that lens, which means you ask moral questions before you do actions. So that's number one. Number two, parents stopped disciplining their children, so they didn't know what was right and what was wrong instinctively. They just did whatever they wanted to. Number three, they didn't do anything hard. They didn't have to work for anything. They didn't have to achieve anything. They were handed trophies for everything they did, whether it was good or bad. Nobody ever told them they sucked. Here's a life lesson for you. If you want to succeed in the world, if you want to be an interesting person, you've got to know when you suck. That's how you get better. You don't get better if you think you're already good at it. If nobody ever makes you feel terrible, you never try harder to do better. That's the problem. That's it in a nutshell. I hope that helps. Ozzy says, we are below the equator. What do you call a person floating in the water with no arms and no legs? Bob. Bob. Good one. Amanda says, geez, Ozzy, rolling on the floor over here. And Jordan says, my definition of a good joke is I myself laugh. Anybody else? It's a bonus, right? April says, I do the same thing, LOL. And God's Will says, Jack, people kept asking other people to tell them when they were supposed to think, so they stopped thinking for themselves. That's included in what I said, yes. April says, Jack and Jordan, welcome. And Alien, welcome. Did I miss somebody? Where are we at? Chat jumped together. There we are. Alien, welcome. And Ozzy says, April, I'm great. Ain't no fool's day with you, April. Ha ha. April says, oh, thanks, Ozzy. Ozzy says, any more funny videos of Biden? Yes, lots of them. About every video he makes is funny. Oh, you're talking about for the show? I suggest you go watch the Hyperbole, which is on my channel. You can find it in the section of videos, the playlist section of the videos. There's a lot of it in there. I think you'll like that. It's a little different than this, but not by much. Jordan says, thanks, April. And April says, smiley, smiley, smiley. Kevin says, bourbon time, good old fashioned. Next, wings and watching CJ play games. Nice. April says, Jordan, welcome back. So good to see you. And Amanda says, drink one for me, Kevin. God knows you don't need to be mixing alcohol with what you're on. April says, yep, we're going to eat late again. Ugh. That's all right, as long as you're eating. Although I would strongly recommend you eat before sundown if you want to, get the benefits of eating instead of getting the benefits of eating, if you know what I'm saying. And Amanda says, I told you that's bad for you, April. It is. And God's Will says, Amanda, I'll do 6 Schlitz. That's a thing that only Gen X people will know. Schlitz is a malt liquor. It's actually beer, but they call it malt. It's malt beer. And it's poor man's Budweiser. And my father drank it many, many years ago. Schlitz malt beer. Ozzy says, Kevin, hi. Have you tried our Bundaberg rum from Queensland? It's a great drop. Bundaberg. Yeah, Kev. Have you tried Bundaberg rum? Yo ho ho. Amanda says, thanks, God's Will. And Nebraska says, bro, Trump tried to overthrow the democratic America with a few lawyer thugs and his theological maniacs. From the evangelical extreme, it's not religion. It's not a well-meaning church. It's a cult. Well, Nebraska, tomorrow is the night that we talk about politics, and I would welcome you to come bring that then. But let me just tell you, number one, there's a few things wrong with that statement. Number one, this is not a democracy. It never has been, nor will it ever be. This is a constitutional republic that democratically elects its people. They are representatives. We are a representative constitutional republic. If you don't believe that, say the Pledge of Allegiance to yourself really slowly and listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Number two, he did not try to take over America. He was duly elected president of the United States, and he won fair and square according to some people. And then that was taken from him. That's the other way around, according to some people. I don't know if that's true or not. YouTube says it's not true, so we'll just have to wait and see. Number three, I don't teach religion, so why you're bringing it up is beyond me. Number four, evangelicals are not extremists. They are Bible thumpers. That's it. That's all. That's all the power they have. Number five, it's probably a cult. Jordan says, Louisiana passed a law that the 10 Commandments must be posted in all classrooms statewide. I'm not sure if it applies to private schools. It's not bringing back prayer, but it's something. Amen, Jordan. That is something. That way, and I think that's a smart move on Louisiana's part. Why? Because I want God back in school? I don't really care about that. What I do care about is children having that framework in their mind from youth. Just like when you put the globe and dinosaurs in their head from birth up until 5th grade or so. That's all they see. Globes and dinosaurs and space. And every book starts with 1 billion years ago or whatever. Though I caution you, long ago and far away is how fairy tales usually start. That's neither here nor there. I really think that children should have that framework built into their thinking pattern. And I think it's great that they're putting them in schools. And I think they should put them back everywhere. And I think that eventually they should allow you to pray in school. I don't think it should be mandatory because I believe in freedom of religion. Not freedom from religion, but freedom of religion. But I think if you want to pray, nobody should say a word to you about it. But that's great, Louisiana. I'm proud of you guys. April says, a dead fish. A dead fish? LOL, it's a person. OMG. What are we talking about, April? A dead fish? What's a dead fish? Amanda says, I think that's awesome, Jordan. I saw that yesterday. Yes. April says, duh, I don't know. That's one I missed. That one I missed. Nebraska says, religion provides good tips to life in the collective of human society. Agreed. I think that it's better to live with some form of framework than it is to live without one. Ask the atheists if you think I'm wrong, because they're flailing right now because they realized that they took away their structure and they didn't replace it with anything. Human beings are designed to worship. There's no way around that. There's no other way to see it. That's what we're designed to do. If we don't worship one thing, we'll worship something else. We're designed to worship. We function better if we have something that's above us. Why? Because we live in a structured society with rules. That's the way it works. God designed it that way. So we just function better with that in place. And I really think that if you look at most religious communities that go to church and participate and do all the things, they're just happier. They're safer. They're more well-rounded, more educated. Not to mention the fact that all the scientists, all the sciences started as a consequence of the church. It's not the other way around. The churches started the sciences, and then it got taken over by atheist types. Go figure. Ozzy says, do you think that Epstein, Cosby, and P. Diddy were all working together? I think it's possible. I don't know, though. I'm not much into conspiracies. I like to see evidence to the things that I think, even though some people like to censor me anyway. But I think it's possible. Jack says they want robots to take over what we are going to do when the mark of the beast comes. What are we going to do when the mark of the beast comes? Well, I can tell you what we're going to do. We're either going to accept the mark of the beast or we're going to resist it. I strongly suggest the latter, because when it comes about, and believe me when I tell you that what we just went through the last few years was not the mark of the beast, but it is that kind of thing. And I think that it was done to see what they could get away with. So be looking for that kind of thing. Anything that takes away your autonomy as a human being is potentially that thing. And we don't know exactly what the mark of the beast is. But when it comes, and I strongly suggest that anything someone tells you you have to do, regardless of how you feel about it, don't do that thing. Because that'll probably be the kind of thing that it will be. So, number 2, robots are never going to take over the world. I know it looks that way, but it's not going to happen. There's no such thing as AI. They're lying to you. How do I know that? Well, because God created consciousness, and it's not man's purview to do so. And even though they'll make a convincing copy, that's exactly what it is. It is a bunch of subroutines and responses. It's an if and then thing. That's not intelligence. It may look that way to a person, especially one that can't think beyond itself. And there's a lot of those people. But I promise you, it's not real artificial intelligence. It's not alive. It doesn't have empathy. It doesn't have consequences. It doesn't have desire. It's just responding to whatever stimuli comes its way. It'll change its mind in a heartbeat if you ask it a different way. That's how you know it's not real. Because conviction is part of consciousness. And you don't get that if you're not conscious. Hope that helps. Live more. Teti says, why Earth is flat? I don't know. You tell me. Live more, the Earth is flat where you're standing. Nebraska says, but it shouldn't be taken literally. Yes, it should. And have influence in the real world with this rapture BS. Well, the rapture's not biblical. So I don't know where you're getting your religion from. I don't teach religion. I teach Bible. There's a difference. And the rapture is not in it. I promise. I've read the whole thing. And I'm actually a scholar on the subject. I can tell you it's not in there. But you're right. That shouldn't be an influence into the whole world. But the Bible should be taken literally. It was written literally, and it means what it says. Jordan says, wait, what are we talking about tonight then? Anything you want to, Jordan. It's a Friday night. I have no rules tonight. Do whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you guys bring up, I'll respond to for another minute. Amanda says, anything, Jordan, but deep political right now is tomorrow. Deep political night is tomorrow. Yes, we're doing politics tomorrow, so we'll get into all that stuff in depth tomorrow. Tonight, it's just random, whatever you want to talk about kind of stuff. Okay, says Jordan. And Christine Marshall. Hello, Christine. Good to see you. Amanda says, hi, Christine. And April says, I'm going to say goodnight, y'all, and go play video games with CJ. I love you all. May God bless you and all of us. Mwah. Mwah. Back at you. Tell CJ we said hello and we love you. Jordan says, hi, Christine. Good to see you again. Linda says, I'm back. That's amazing, Linda. I'm front and center. April says, agreed, Jake. Thank you. Or I agree, Jake. Jordan says, night, April. Have a good night. April says, hi, Linda. Much love. And Jordan says, hi again, Linda. Christine says, hello, everyone. And April says, good night, Jordan. And Christine, good to see you. Mwah. I'm out, everybody. Peace out. Good to see you. We'll catch you tomorrow night at Politics right here on Untethered Live. Christine says the Bible has mapped more knowledge and more categories than any other field of science or scientism. The master of all epistemology is God, and we are all still under his mapping system. Amen, Christine. Very true. Kevin says, by the way, if you ever get a chance to drink a cold dragon's milk, do so. It is a great tasting dark beer. I'll try it. At least once. Jordan says, atheism plus literally self-immolated over a decade ago, fighting about what bits to cut off and who's more feminist than who, and if men are real women and all sort of nonsense, LOL. It was funny to watch. Jordan? Yeah, it was. It's funny to watch because the decade before that, they were so certain they were right and everybody was getting on to you about it. All the, famous people. And now, look at them. Richard Dawkins. And I got this clip in one of my Hyperbole shows. Richard Dawkins said that he lamented the idea of not having a Christian nation to live in. Really? You, Mr. Atheist, the guy that one of the founders of the Atheist Plus movement? You want to live in a Christian nation. You like Christmas carols and jingles. You like churches. Really? Because you were the guy telling everybody that was crazy nonsense. It turns out it's better to live in a Christian world than it is to live in the other guy's world. Christine says almost all theories come from the Bible, like lit and the water gather in one place, let the land appear. That's the theory of Pangea. Yes, sort of. Not exactly, but Pangea is what the world used to be, because there used to not be any oceans. There were seas, but no oceans. The oceans came from beneath the earth and burst forth during the flood. Then the water settled and liquefaction happened and the mountains rose up. There were no mountains either. Mountains rose up, valleys went down, and water drained off into the low spots. And that's how we got oceans. So where's the water from the flood? You see it every time you go to the beach. But you are correct. Almost all things are mentioned in the Bible. Mentioned in the Bible. Christine says the Big Bang Theory was explained by God in the beginning. Sort of. Ozzy says, is the beast the New World Order? Is that what you're referring to? Well, we're referring to a character in the New World Order. The New World Order is just the state of the world under one religion or one government. That's the New World Order. But the beast is one of the two dark figures to rise up just before Jesus returns, according to the Bible. One of those being the devil and the other one being the Antichrist, which is not the same thing. Christine says, one of my favorite repeatable formulas of the Bible, scientific formulas, is to be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it. Notice the word replenish. That is a past tense word. That's a very good statement. By the way, just so you guys know where my head's at, the very first thing God ever said to mankind, and you can check me on this, the very first thing, the first commandment of God is have lots of sex and fill up the earth. Just thought you might want to know that. Self-Creation says, what is world? I have no idea. It's a rock, as best as I can tell, and it's hurling through space. Big Smoke says, favorite type of chicken, fried. Next. I like dark meat. Put some hot sauce on it. It's delicious. Jordan says, fun fact. They've measured it, and Kansas is literally flatter than a pancake. Now, that's my kind of science. True. It is flatter than a pancake, and it has been measured. This is a fact. Pancakes aren't really that flat. Nebraska says, science brought us to the moon, if you believe that sort of thing, and lets us collide packs of atoms to analyze them. Where has religion brought us? I'm going to pretend you didn't ask that question because I know you already know the answer to that. Everywhere. The answer is everywhere. The reason we're here. The reason that we're having this conversation. The reason that you're smart enough to articulate your misguided point of view is because of religion. You know, the printing press, the reason that we have books was invented to print copies of the Bible. No other reason. That was the reason. And that wasn't that long ago. Before that, we didn't have books. We had scrolls written on animal skins. Dana says the rapture is a scam, and yes, it is. More specifically, it's a scam brought to light by a woman named Mary MacDonald in the 1800s in a Scottish insane asylum. Had two priests there watching her have nightmares and delusions because she was schizophrenic, and they wrote down what she said while she was in her fever dream. They even said at the time that it sounded evil, but they published it because, money be money. And next thing you know, the rapture doctrine is going all over the world, and that's where it came from. I may be wrong about it being Scottish. It might have been English. I can't remember. But Mary MacDonald was her name. Check her out. Sorry, my chat jumped again. Christine says, I got my politics A game for tomorrow. Good, Christine, because I'm ready for it. I'm ready to unload. Amanda says, fried chicken, Big Smoke. Jack says, I told a Gen Z, you know nothing about my time. Gen Z told me, we're taking over. It's 2024, not 1983. Well, I got to tell you, if that is true, it'll be awful easy to get it back. All we're going to have to do, stick with me now, all we're going to have to do is write our battle plans in cursive on the back of a map and go to the war in a stick shift. I think we'll win. What do you think? Self-Creation says, if you're going into belief systems you don't know, what makes you think I don't know? Self-Creation. You've made a whole lot of assumptions in that first sentence that you are absolutely incorrect about. I suggest strongly you find out who the hell you're talking to before you continue and make a fool of yourself. But I'll continue. If you talk about something which is not yet in your experience, to put it bluntly, you're just a bloody effing liar. That's what it means. What means? What are you talking about, Self-Creation? You concluded something you didn't start with an idea. We don't know what you're talking to. We can't read your mind. What is it you're saying we're lying about? And what does what mean? Ozzy says, what do you call a lady with one leg? Eileen. Hey. Nice. Amanda says, LOL, Ozzy. Jordan says, that was the Holy Spirit shining through Mr. Dawkins. He was just too uppity to see that. I agree. Ozzy says, Jack, hey, that's what they think as they believe it's all handed to them without any hard work. Very entitled generation, that one. Yes, they are. Linda says, Ozzy, smiling over here. 8-Ball, is Jake the best ever, says Amanda? And 8-Ball says, that's a tough one. Believe your own religion, faith, but respect all religion, faith, says self-creation. Why? Self-creation, why? I know where they came from. I don't have to respect them. Some I do respect, because I know where they came from. Do you know where they came from? Can you tell me where Islam came from, for example? Do you know who started Islam? Bet you don't. Jordan says, bros be like, how did the freshwater fish survive then? And I'm like, God. Well, if you want to know, here's an experiment for you. Go get you a freshwater fish aquarium. Fill it full of fresh water and put a lot of fish in it. And then every day, put a shot glass of salt water into it until you can measure the water over a period of 3 weeks until the salt content raises to that comparable with the ocean. And you will see that the fish live just fine. The problem is changing it all at once. That will kill the fish. But if they have time to acclimate to it, they can live just fine in salt water. That's the answer. But whatever. And by the way, every single thing God does, God who is supernatural, super means more, so more natural than you are. Everything God does has a perfectly legitimate scientific reason for it. There's no magic. It's not trickery. It's the world. And it works on physical rules. We call it physics. Oddly enough. Ozzy says, Amanda, you got a great sense of humor as you're laughing at all my jokes. Well, if she's laughing at all your jokes, it's got to be a good one, right? Either that or you're insanely funny. Christine says, the universe was created from a ball of energy and light that appeared suddenly from nothingness. Exactly the same ball of energy and light described in the Big Bang Theory. I'll give you that one. It's a little more complicated than that, but you're not wrong, so I'll let you have that one. Amanda says, I like stuff like that, and thanks. Yeah, she's got a very 12-year-old boy sense of humor. Ozzy says, Linda, you also have a great sense of humor. And Jordan says, but only with your partner. Huh? The last thing you said is freshwater fish, but only with your partner. Okay. I don't know what you're referring to there, Jordan. Doinch says, wow, are you a voice actor? No. But I do play one on TV. But thank you. Christine says, yep, God said he hangs the earth on nothingness. Yep, that's true. Linda says, you got some good dad jokes, Ozzy. That was the purpose. Self-creation says, moral ethics based on religious faith or not? No. First of all, you don't understand the term faith, because faith is the evidence of things hoped for and the substance of things you cannot see. That's what faith is. You're referring to it as a belief system, and that's not what it is. That's what a religion is a belief system. A religion equals ideology. Faith equals knowing something that's true is true. Now, moral ethics come from laws. Laws come from God. God is not a faith-based system. Our belief in him is. He is real whether you believe in him or not. There is something greater than you, regardless of how you feel about that. And it doesn't care one way or the other whether you feel anything about it or not. And whatever it is, and we can argue all day long about what God is or what that means, but the fact that there is one, that's not in dispute by anybody that has more than one brain cell. Monkey Juice. Ben Franklin was a printer. Yeah, he was. Which happened after the invention of the printing press, if I'm not mistaken. Ozzy says, thanks, Linda. My kids hate them, but that's Dad's job, isn't it? Ha, yes. To tell dad jokes, yes. And the reason they're not like normal jokes, they're dad jokes, is because kids hate them. So you're doing a good job. Jordan says, religion brought us to the point where we could go to the moon. Christianity started colleges, schools for children. Like the entire education system basically was from the church. All sciences were started as a result of the church. All of them. Every single one without fail. Not one was designed by a non-Christian entity. All of them were then taken over in the 1800s by atheists, which is why we have what we have today. And which is why school systems are failing miserably. That's why colleges have now become indoctrination camps and activist ports rather than higher education platforms. Jordan says, I don't know who said that, but bro needs to open a book. Or, yeah. Amanda says, Ozzy, what is tuum and tuum? You're supposed to wait. Form. That's what it is. Western education systems suck. So do Eastern education systems. Current education systems, the older ones didn't. Linda says, yes, Ozzy, that is Dad's job. They will laugh about it in the future. Amen. He said stick shift. Christine says, Earth was at one point formless. He formed and stretched the earth around from throne. Look down on the circle of the earth. You're talking about the book of Isaiah. The sun comes forth and hurries around to come back to the earth. And come back, the earth is a sphere. Well, the earth is circular. It doesn't say sphere. That's not what that word means in Hebrew. But it does say circular. Not the book of Isaiah, the other one. Elijah. The book Elijah's in. I can't remember. Anyway. Jordan says, I'm proud to report as a Gen Z, I can write in cursive. You can't spell it, though. In cursive. I can write in cursive, although the new kind. What is the new kind? I could probably figure out a map, as I've used them hiking before, and I can indeed not grind a clutch. Well, that's good, Jordan. You may be the only one. 𝕂𝕕𝕖𝕕𝕃𝕚𝕚 says, it's audio mic. No, it's not. It's a Samson. That doesn't say. Thought it might say on the back, but it don't. It's a Samson. It's a good Samson. Self-creation says, I have an only critics. You must be answer my question, sir. I have only critics. You must answer my questions, sir. Well, I didn't hear you ask one that I didn't answer. I'll answer any question you have. With confidence. Jordan says, for anyone that doesn't know Common Core, redid the entire in cursive system, and it looks whack. Well, I haven't seen that, and I don't want to see it, because I know how to write in cursive the old way, and I'm happy with that. Of course, I write in print for simplicity, but I do know how to do the old thing. Common Core was a joke, by the way. Self-creation says, laughing. Non-believers not interested in your belief system. I don't care. Well, you're still here, so I must have said something that you understood. And by the way, self-creation, just so you know, you're not hurting my feelings, because I do not cast my pearls before swine. I'll give you all the wisdom that is in my mind, if you want it. If you don't, as far as I'm concerned, you could go suck an egg right where it looks like a fig, because I don't care. It's not my job to save you. It's not my job to convert you. It's my job to answer your questions and be prepared to give you an answer for hard questions. That's it. That's all. And that's where I do. So I hope that something I've said will cause you to, fall towards the end of a thought process, that conclusion area towards the end of it. And if so, that's wonderful. That's what my goal was. And if not, then we had a good conversation. Maybe had a few laughs. Maybe argued a little. Whatever. You might come back tomorrow. You might not. Whatever. God put me here to talk, so I'm talking. Jack says, life is going to be like a VR game. Put on your headset and see what I see. Probably. Adil says, I'm atheist, not easy believing you. That's fine, Adil. That's fine. I'm not judging you. If you want to be an atheist, that's your business. However, if you ask me a question based on the education that I've accrued over 35 years of being a man of letters, being a scholar, being a student of the world, doing whatever I've done to gain the knowledge that I have and the wisdom that I have, I will answer your questions. If you don't like those answers, you're welcome to go prove me wrong. I'm not requiring that you believe me. You don't have to believe me. You might think I'm a total joke. That's fine with me. Go find out. Go take the crazy thing that I said and go apply it to the world and see if I'm right. And when you find out that I am, you come back and tell me it's a little less hard to believe me. And then at some point, you'll just drink the Kool-Aid and be following me around everywhere and tugging on my robe as I sit at the mouth of the cave. That's fine, too. I welcome any question you have. No question is off limits. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And I am prepared right now to answer all of them. I don't know where you're going to get a better offer than that. You must know that around 1 billion in the world are non-believers. Yeah. I know that the Bible, which was written 4,500 years ago collectively, starting at 4,500 years ago, says that in the end times there'll be a remnant, tiny sliver of people left that believe in God. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of people in the world that need saving. There's a lot of people in the world that need an education. There's a lot of people in the world that are wrong. Yes, I do know that. I'm acutely aware of it, self-creation. And you must know that all of those people does not make it right. You know, the Germans had a mass agreement about what was right. Do you think they were right in the 1930s? Because the mob, the majority, believed the same thing. They all acted accordingly to their beliefs. Were they right? So just because there's a group of people does not make them right. Just because it's a majority doesn't make them right. Jordan says, I believe God could break physics. The theological question becomes if he actually would, which is debatable. I think there are times you could argue he did. I don't think so. And I don't think so because he's the one that set the rules. He's the one that created this world and the physics in it, this universe. So I don't think he would intentionally break his own rules, but that's not to say that he couldn't. He is God. He could do whatever he wanted to do. He could make new rules if he wanted to. But I don't think he does. Not as far as the world is concerned. And I might be wrong about that, but I think you got a point. I think it is arguable. I think that you could look at it all those ways. I hope you quit smoking, says Jack. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. My mama didn't raise no quitter, but I appreciate you thinking about my health. Amanda says, I do not have a 12-year-old boy sense of humor. LOL, geez, Jake. Yeah, you do. How can you teach them? ? By talking. I can only teach you if you're willing to listen. That's it. It's a symbiotic relationship. You have to want to know what I know. You have to be aware that I know something you don't. You have to be interested in what that is. Those three things have to be in alignment, and then I can teach you anything. Jordan says, only with your partner was in response to the Lord's first word to man. He did not specify that. No, sir, he did not. Matter of fact, he doesn't specify that anywhere in the Bible, except for later on when he changes the idea that people could have multiple wives. That was in the beginning, it was that way. Later on, after Abraham, it was not that way. Now, when exactly that happened is unclear, but apparently you could look at it like before God wrote a law about it, it was okay. Once he put it into law, it was no longer okay. That's the way I look at it. I don't know if that's right or not, but in the Garden of Eden, not only was it okay to sleep with whoever you wanted to, but it was okay to sleep with people you were related to directly, like your sister. After Abraham, it was not okay. I'd say right on up till about Moses was when it changed. So I'm not really sure about that, but you could look into it. Be a good thing to look at. But no, he did not specify to only sleep with your partner. Liam says, no clam reaches the beach without the hands that guide a clam. Clam town. It's clam time now. Brian, 1114. I don't know where that came from, Brian. Or rather, Liam, but very smart. Dana says, Muhammad started Islam. Incorrect. He married a 6-year-old girl, correct, named Aisha, and consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old, correct again. How horrible is this? Well, apparently, according to some people, it's not that bad. But to me, it's horrible, worth a bullet in the brain. However, Muhammad did not start Islam. Ishmael did. Ishmael is the illegitimate son of Abraham. Abraham had 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael went on, and through his line came the Muslim traditions, which are based on the Abrahamic religion because he was basically raised by Abraham up until his teen years. Isaac went on, and the Christians came from his line. So there's 2 distinct lines, but both of them lead back to Abraham. I hate it when my chat jumps. I don't even know where I'm at. Here we go. Monkey Juice says, do you believe in doomsday like Laura Daybell? I don't know who Laura Daybell is. And no, I don't believe in doomsday. I believe in the Antichrist, and I believe that the day Jesus comes back, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. And I believe that at some point later on after that, there will be a judgment day, a white throne judgment where everybody that's ever existed will be present to be judged. And those that are found wanton will be cast into the lake of fire with the people they follow. And those that are found righteous will be inducted into heaven. Now, what goes on beyond that is a little fuzzy. But I don't believe in a doomsday per se. You mean like nuclear annihilation or something like that? No, I don't. Self-creation says, let the future decide this or that. Excuse me, who the hell are you? I'm Jake Johnson. Who the hell are you? I never said let the future decide anything. But if you want to know who I am, come at me, bro. I'll show you who I am. I'm an open book. That's who I am. Well, who are you? I'm an authority on the subject. That's who I am. Who are you? You want to know who I am? Come have a conversation with me. Children. Adele says, make your voice same a hot cup of coffee makes I don't know what those words mean. Are you saying drink a hot cup of coffee and my throat won't be so rough? I have a hot cup of coffee, and I have laryngitis, which is why I sound the way I sound. I apologize for that. I think that's what you're getting at. I'm not sure. Jordan says, being as Franklin ran a newspaper, I believe it was, yes, indeed, after the invention of the printing press, which was the 1400s. In Genoa, I believe. I believe you're right. CR7 Goat says, Zach? Nope, Jake. Jake. Christine says, scientism has also been criticized by claiming that some areas of study are beyond the reach of science, and God clearly mapped all out for us. Just because they don't know the answer, or they think they know the answer until the answer is blatantly obvious that they're wrong, like dark matter and dark energy. They're trying to rethink that now, but it'll be 20 years before the masses hear about that. And for the next 20 years, we'll have to hear idiots talking about dark energy and dark matter and black holes and the such, because they haven't heard the latest science yet, because it takes that long to get into academia, because they don't want to let go of the old paradigm, which is atheism first. Well, if you're up on the science, if you're paying attention when things are discovered, then you know things that the rest of the world will take 20 years to learn. There's no such thing as dark energy and dark matter. They have just discovered with the James Webb Telescope that there are lots and lots and lots of things out there that go against what they thought the universe was and its origins and its age. Ergo, no Big Bang. Ergo, no dark energy, no dark matter, no black holes, none of that. They have to rewrite it. They have to refigure it. Quantum physics has not been their friend. But yeah, God clearly mapped it all out. And also the Bible says that in the end times, all secrets will be made known. That's what the revelation is, the great revealing. Therefore, what we don't know now, we will soon know. The secrets to the world that we're in. Western materialistic lifestyle and materialistic culture only money, sex, party, drugs, marriage, divorce, again, marriage, again, divorce, then depression, anxiety, loneliness, worst case killing, and self-deleting, says self-creation. I don't disagree with any of that. You're absolutely right. We live in decadence, which is the step, by the way, which happens just before the fall of an empire. Decadence sets in. That's where we currently are. Rome was over 1,000 years old, or even older. We're only 200 years old, 250, something like that. So we're ending rather quickly. Curious Squirrel, much love, everybody. Hey, Curious Squirrel, and thank you for the donation today. I appreciate you very much. Amanda says, hey, Curious Squirrel. Curious Squirrel says, hi, Amanda. CR7 says, St. I agree. Amanda says, like, subscribe, share, support, join. And by the way, y'all, all the questions being asked, there is a super chat function in the chat box if you want to show some love for the guy answering the questions. Jordan Mills says, Samsung's mics are proof Jake is an agent of the Korean Unity Church. LOL. Just kidding, obviously. Korean Unity Church. Well, I don't have... Samson. Samsnoson. Samson. Not Samsung. Samson. Yeah, here it is. And you can't see it, so. Anyway. Yeah, I am a member of the Korean Unity Church, whatever that is. I'm a secret agent. William says, us Gen X's are a dying breed. Amen, William. Literally and figuratively and metaphysically, actually. Jordan says, for the record, Adil, I'm judging you. Get him, Jordan. The smart liberal. Is it? Did somebody say unicorn? I'm a Biden-loving liberal. Well, I'm sorry. You just showed yourself to be not so smart. No, I don't much care for the doddering old dude. But thank you for asking. You're welcome here, by the way. Until you say something ridiculous. Amanda says, nope, we are smarter than that. Smart liberal says, I love Joe Biden. He is my hero. Boy, you got a low bar. Christine says, Trump 2024. I never voted before 2016. Dana says, the non-believers are people who rejected God. Yes, and they will pay for that. And in fact, they are paying for it every day. Because living in a world that doesn't have something over it is terrifying and empty and always leads to loneliness and not knowing who you are, not knowing where you fit in the world. So congratulations, atheists. You destroyed yourselves. Biden 2024. Yeah, for retirement. Smart liberal. Christine says, ha, 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 ha. Jordan says, when I was a young, I believed the lies told about Christianity. So did I. The liberal version that you can be a gay guy, whatever, and God will forgive you for your activity living in sin, etc. Now I know better. Well, it's not my place to judge people, and you won't get any of that from me. I don't judge you. If you want to be gay, that's your business. Now, I don't want you getting any of it on me, and I don't want to hear about it. But whatever you do is whatever you do. I don't talk about what I do. So have fun. Just if you show up here, show up to learn, and I'll let you deal with your salvation between you and God. I'll lead you to the water, but you got to drink it. Christine says, how about those Biden Tic Tacs? I don't know about that. I haven't seen that. Smart liberal says, I'm a liberal. We gathered. You're a white supremacist Biden supporter. That's terrible, smart liberal. You're not very smart, are you? By the way, Amanda has a band hammer, and if you don't watch your mouth, you're going to end up getting booted. So I see where this conversation is leading. Don't get there. And by the way, don't keep repeating yourself. Jack says, I used to like smoking weed, but now I can't stand it. I've never been able to smoke pot. I ain't got nothing against it per se. It just makes me dumb, and I don't like feeling dumb. Kevin says, good night. Smart Liberal says, Republicans are racist. No, they're not. Jordan says, Smart Liberal, you have my sympathy. And Amanda says, night, Kev. Thanks again, man. Yes, thank you very much. Smart Liberal says, yes, liberated America is best. I don't think so. Jordan says, good night, Kev. Bread loaf. What's up, buddy? Do you think it's possible that Genesis 1 is more metaphorical than literal? No. I'll tell you why as soon as I can find your chat again. Similar to Revelations. Revelations is not metaphorical either. The book of the Bible in its entirety is a literal book. Sometimes it speaks in parables. Sometimes it is metaphorical, but it is also talking about real events, right? Some of it is truncated. Some of it is hyphenated, but it's all real things that occurred. But Hebrew is a language that you cannot change. It is very particular and very specific. And the article the first day is used many times throughout the Bible to refer to a 24-hour period, as it is used in Genesis to refer to a 24-hour period. So all the things in Genesis are literal. They are what happened. Pizzagate is fake. Maybe that story was fake, but the fact that there was some stuff going on that involved higher ups and lower downs, that is not fake. Ask Jeffrey Epstein. Amanda says, hi, Breedloaf. Breedloaf says, greetings. Christine says, hello. Biden 2024. That's the second time you repeated that. Don't keep repeating yourself there, Smart Liberal, because we don't like that around here. Well, if you can point to Palestine on a map, we can start talking about it. How about that? If you can tell me what it means to be a Palestinian, we could start talking. How about that? Let's start there. If you can tell me which river, that'd be a good start. And which sea. Jordan says, Breedloaf found the Bible is both literal and symbolic. You just have to read it to understand it, which is which. And when you aren't sure, seek guidance from people you trust. That's why a lot of us are here. Thank you, Jordan. And I will do my very best to illuminate those things. When it is speaking metaphorical, though, it is for a point. It is to illustrate something you would be familiar with. That uses parables and phrases of things of common people so that everybody knows what's being talked about. That's what Jesus did. That's how he taught. And that's what happens in a more elegant sense in other parts of the Bible, like Psalms, for example. However, there are other books that are quite literal, like the Song of Solomon. It's very literal. That's a detailed account of what occurred. All of the Old Testament is pretty much for verbatim what happened and how it happened and who was there. Revelations does use metaphor and allegory a lot, but the details that it's talking about are real events. They are metaphors based on reality. So I hope that helps. Yeah, I think the smart liberal just wants to cause problems, Amanda. I ain't got no problem if you want to boot him out. Buck's Backyard Toys. Waycross, Georgia in the house. What's up, buddy? Sandersville, Georgia in the house. Bro, I will buy you a brand new shirt for that shirt you have on, and I will come pick it up. Well, unfortunately, this shirt was a Father's Day gift, and I can't sell it, but I would gladly give it to you if it wasn't that case. But thank you. I'm kind of fond of it myself. Amanda says, hi, Bucks. No, you're not, smart liberal. This sentence, the second down, is the first thing you've said that was not a repeat. And it's retarded. Scientology is not an amazing society. It's not amazing for society. It is a cult. It's a cult for rich people. Jordan says, she just doesn't like you, smart liberal, and she's not alone with that. And she's literally timed me out before, so just chill and try to learn something. Thank you, Jordan. Scott Bringer says, I found Jesus recently. He was hiding in my tool shed. You can find a lot of useful things in a tool shed there, Scott, joking or otherwise. I suggest you go out to that tool shed and take your Bible with you and spend some time alone with it and see what you come up with. Christine says, I'm crying laughing over here. Hallelujah. Dump Trump. Monkey Juice says, you keep saying the Bible said this, the Bible said that, and I don't believe in something someone else wrote. Well, Monkey Juice, I'm sorry. We must not believe in the Constitution or the newspaper or the phone book or any other book. The Bible, as promised by God, is the inerrant, inspired Word of God. Now, is that true? Well, God said that everyone would have access to it. Everybody all across the world would have access to His Word. There's only one book that fits that description, and it is the Bible. Now, what else can we glean from it that might be true? Let's start with the promises. The 10 Commandments. Okay. 10 Commandments are the laws of God. They're written in the Bible. How do we know if they are true or not? Well, thou shalt not steal. Let's try that one. Go catch a baby, a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old with his hand in a cookie jar that you told him not to go get. If you catch that baby stealing a cookie, I want you to pay close attention to that baby's face. That baby is ashamed. That baby will lie to you, thou shalt not lie, to keep you from getting onto them for stealing a cookie. They will deny. They will bear false witness that they even ate a cookie, even though they got it all over their face. Now, all of that, despite the fact that you have never explained the intricacies of property value or theft or right and wrong to this infant, it instinctively knows that it did something wrong and that it is now in trouble. Even if you don't show a tone of voice, even if you don't act mad, it knows. How? How does a baby know it did something wrong, even though you haven't taught it right from wrong? Because the Bible says that the 10 Commandments are written in your heart. Now try that with all the other commandments and see if it holds to be true. When you find out that all of those commandments are in fact written in your heart, and that you instinctively from birth know right from wrong morally, you don't have to be told. It's not something anybody has to teach you. You don't have to learn it in a class. You just know right from wrong. All people across all cultures, across all continents, have the same information in their heart. The Bible said that 4,000 years ago. So there's one thing that you can mark off for your true column. Now, take that same scientific research and go throughout the entire Bible. Now, there's one thing you're not going to be able to prove, and that's the existence of God or the fact that Jesus rose from the dead. You can't prove those things except for eyewitness testimony, which there were more than 500. More than 500 people saw this event occur and wrote about it in more books than just the Bible. Read Josephus if you don't believe that. You can cross-reference the Bible with all the other history in the world, and it coincides. Now, you do a little bit more research, and you realize that since the 1800s, there's been an active group, organization, occult people trying to remove God from the world, from academia, from higher education, from that sort of thing. So they've come up with all kinds of things like the CE dating system, the BCE dating system. Well, before that, we used BC and AD, before Christ and Anno Domini, which means after death, right? But in the 1800s, they brought in this other thing. Now, why did they do that? Well, because they shifted the dates a little bit. Why did they do that? Well, they say it's to be more accurate, but I defy you to check that against the Bible, because what you're going to find out is everything the Bible says is there. You can go right to that place where it says it is and find it. And then some scientists will tell you, well, it's in the wrong date, so it can't be that. It has to be something else. So keep looking, you're wrong. But the Bible said it was there, and it was there. Yeah, but it's in the wrong date. It's in the wrong layer. That's why they invented that. Now, you keep doing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and you're eventually going to find out without conclusion that the Bible is the anvil that has worn out many, many, many hammers. The Bible, people have been attacking that book for thousands of years, trying to discredit it, trying to disprove it, trying to get rid of it altogether, and they can't do it because it's true. It just is. Now, if you want to take your hammer and beat up against that anvil a little while, go ahead. I already have for 35 years. I've been doing it. I didn't start with the knowledge that I have. I gained it over time. You will do the same thing. You'll come to the same conclusion because it's just the truth. There you go. That's how I know. And I don't care if you believe it or not. How about that? You obviously see something worth listening to, or you wouldn't have been back for multiple times. You keep coming back, so clearly something is tickling your fancy. What might that be? Self says, you can read my mind. No. But I pretty much can tell you what you're thinking. Buck says, if you was born in 1980, you rock. Well, I was born in 74. What does that make me? Dust? Probably. The Korean Unity Church was actually why Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, was assassinated due to his involvement with them. They are a massive cult in Southeast Asia. Believe weird stuff. All right. Amanda says, well, I was born in the 80s, Bucks. Does that count? Buck says, an ignorant man will enter into the gates of heaven, but a man that knows God and then denies him will not. Ignorance is not a sin, Buck. You're absolutely right. Amanda, you are making me feel old. I was born in the 60s, says Linda. I was close. I was born in 74. John Favilios, what's up, my brother? Hello there. Not late again? Had a date. Well, that's important, John. So you do that date and you can come back together and watch the show. That date's important. You got to get out there and make life with yourself. And don't wait. Buck says, damn, I hate it when my chat jumps. It's already 10:55. You guys are lucky it's Friday because I'm exhausted. But I'm going to keep going until I get to the bottom of this. I think. Here we go. I could tell by the way you type, Amanda, says Buck, that you were born in the 80s. Ha. Christine says, I'm back. My power went out, and it took a second for the internet to get back on. Well, dang, that seems to be rash. Lots of people had their power out today. William says, Biden 2024, God, I feel dumb. You should feel dumb if you think Biden 2024. Biden needs to retire. Amanda says, LOL, Bucks, I guess that's a good thing. Self-creation says, you mean non-believers are going to hell according to your belief system? No. No. Non-believers are going to hell according to John 3:16, which was written about 2,000 years ago. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, Jesus, that whosoever believeth shall not perish, go to hell, but have everlasting life, go to heaven. I didn't make that up. I didn't write it. It's just the truth. Sorry. Amanda says, LOL, sorry, Linda. Linda says, hi, John. I hope you had a good time on that date. Me too. Dish, give us the details. Self-control says, Scripture. Rely on only one book. Whatever they said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No always raise questions. How, why. It's very important. Okay. Scripture comes from one book, the Bible. That's where Scripture comes from. Second, you should always ask questions. Always. I don't tell people to believe me untethered, unfettered. I believe that I tell everybody to question everything, including me. Let me guide you, but you get out there and find out for yourself if I'm right or not. I do say that. Third of all, the word Israel means to wrestle with God. If you're not struggling with it, if you're not wrestling with the ideas, you're not Christianing right. So your idea of Christianity is wrong. Your thought about Christianity is incorrect. I suggest you come on in and make yourself a useful servant of God by finding out whether I'm right or not. Do that. Sound Impact says, I'm glad to see you again. You were rude to me in a former chat, but I understand that these platforms can be difficult. Sound Impact, if I was rude to you, it's because you said something rude to me first. I'm never rude on initial get-goes, although some people may take my personality as rude, and if that happened, I apologize, because I am very short and blunt, direct to the point, and I'm mean as a rattlesnake, and I'm as serious as a heart attack. So if that happened, I apologize. It's not my intention. If I was, in fact, purposely rude to you, it's because you started it. Self-Creation says, and by the way, welcome, Sound Impact. Self-Creation says, read more difference books. You read more difference books. You might learn some more English. I've read many books. I'm not a novice in the intellectual game. As if you can't tell by the conversation that I've had, I've been thinking about this for a little while. I've been studying it for a little while. I do know a couple of things. So it ain't about my reading or lack thereof. And use your own common sense. I use my own common sense quite often and my own analysis. And I've done plenty of research. Dana says, who is calling the shots in the U.S. government? We all know that Biden is mentally incapacitated. It is Is it Blinken? I don't think it's Blinken. I think that there is a government in place above our government that nobody knows their names and nobody knows what their faces are. And I don't know who is involved in that, but I suspect it has something to do with the oligarchy that we live under, the rich people, because they're definitely calling the shots. It seems to be anyway. Things work out in their favor a whole lot more than they do in mine. I don't know the answer to that, Christine, but I'd say it's probably the billionaires. I don't think it's anybody that you know the name of in government. I think they're all pawns. which is why they hate Trump so much, because they can't control what he does and says. They don't have any dirt on him, as evidenced by the last 8 years of every alphabet agency in the world going after him, and found nothing other than a misplaced ledger marking that he didn't even write or know about. Amanda says he probably didn't mean to or took it the wrong way, but he's respectful and carries on a conversation with you and will have no problem, sound. I believe I said that, but thank you, Amanda. Jack says Biden belongs in an old people's home. I agree. I think am smart than him just saying, go watch Biden video. Tell me what you think. I agree with you, Jack. I don't think that he is fit for the job. I don't think he's mentally or physically capable of the job, and I think it belongs where it was originally. But that's my opinion. What do I know? Curious Squirrel says, I miss phone books. Me too, actually. Just because we can do better don't mean we should do better. There are some things that were just like payphones. They just worked. You don't need to do better. I miss payphones. Where does Superman even change his outfit? And Amanda says, no, he didn't, Self. He hasn't made it there yet. I'm working on it. John says, dang, I can't even find where we're at. We're somewhere in the lower quadrant, but still far away. Probably about 20 minutes out. Amanda says, hi, John. And he's up there a bit, John, LOL. Christine says, you always have some solid points on Untethered, and I really do love your show. Only listen to 3 people, and you're one of them. The Angry Man is another one. Who's the Angry Man? And I thought you were going to say, I only listen to 3 people, and you're 2 of them. No. Well, thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. What Angry Man are you referring to? That's interesting. Dadgummit. John says, hi, hun. Yep, I figured it. LOL. I got here 15 minutes ago or so, and I haven't seen one thing he has read yet. Jake loves this, though. I do. I love each and every one of you. Amanda says he does. He always says this is our chat, and he makes sure we know it and spends time with his community. You listen to Amanda. She knows what she's talking about. And John says, it's a beautiful thing. And I don't just mean his mustache. It is a beautiful mustache, though. Thank you, John. Jordan says, I like the song, Help Me, Faith. It's actually from a video game, but it helps unironically. The Lord works in mysterious and amazing ways. Jesus is King. Amen and amen. Christine says, I dislike when they call it a hallucination theory, that people hallucinated their experience with Jesus, but it's more impossible that 500 people had a hallucination about the same person. It happened. True. Not only did more than 500 people witness Christ after his death, but some of the Roman centurions were among those people. The people that were placed there to guard his tomb saw it empty, and they were there the whole night. They saw the body be put in. They saw the stone laid into place. They saw the Roman seal placed on the stones, which is nails driven into the stone with a chain across it so it can't go. And they saw it empty the next morning, and they have no recollection of what happened. And they all testified to that. And then no less than 500 people over a period of about 3 weeks hung out with Jesus after his death, after they saw him die. So, yeah, it happened. There's not a scholar worth his salt that would deny the happening of Jesus Christ. It happened. What that means is up for debate, but the facts of the event occurred. It's a real thing. Jesus was a real person. And the things that happened, happened. Amanda says, it's not many, if any, do this, and I love that he takes the time to include everybody. Thank you very much. I do too. Breadloaf says, I'm a huge fan of this show. I love hearing deep topics being discussed. Me too. I think there needs to be more of that. Not just from me, from everybody. Won't you come join me, make this a big thing so that everybody gets on board? Amanda says, and how was your date, John? John, yeah, tell us about the date. That's what I want to know about. Did you get lucky? Did you get a good night kiss? Did you like the person? Was it fun? Not necessarily in that order. Amanda says, thanks, Loaf. Oh, we enjoy having you here. Yes, we do. Jordan says, hello, John. And John says, it was wonderful. She's a lady. I volunteered with her many times. That's fantastic. I'm glad that you had a good date, and I hope that it leads to something more. And thank you for asking, Amanda. And hi, Jordan, says John. And Amanda says, awesome, John. I'm happy for you. Yes. Let me be responsible for love in the air. Let me hook you up. If there's anybody that's single, I know some single ladies. Go forth. Be fruitful and multiply. Not that I'm trying to take credit for your date. That ain't what I meant. Sound Impact says, I was born in 58. Wow. You are a young whippersnapper, aren't you? Curious Squirrel says, I was also born in the 60s. Now I don't feel so old. Jordan says, I was born in 98. Now I feel old again. Thank you. But I'd rather be a Zoomer than a millennial. 98. Well, you're just over the line, so you could still consider yourself a Zoomer. If that's what they're calling it. Or is a Zoomer Gen Z? Is that the same thing? Because if so, you're a little bit behind in that one. I was thinking X. X ended in the 80s, but if you're in the early 90s, 98 really isn't the early. Forget what I said. I don't know what I'm talking about. John says, thanks, Amanda. Hey, I'm an 80s kid myself, says John. Full grown now, but ever the kid. Well, you can't lose your sense of wonder. That's a beautiful thing to have. Amanda says, we are all big kids at some point. Not me. I've never had a childhood. I was an adult the day I was born. John says, a few drinks sure brings the kid out. Buck's Backyard says, I've got to get out of here. I love you, and I really appreciate the show. Thank you, Buck's Backyard, and I appreciate you being here. And God bless you, and take care of what you need to take care of. Amanda says, LOL usually does, and a few other things will bring out the kid, too. She means sex. Amanda says, night, Bucks, see you later. And Linda says, good night, Bucks. Jordan says, you think I'm going to hell? No, I have faith. I don't think anybody's going to hell. It's not my place to make that judgment. If you ask the question, though, I'll answer you honestly. Believers go to heaven. Non-believers do not. But that's what the book says. That ain't what I say. Curious Squirrel says, have a great night, Buck's Backyard Toys. And John says, good night, Buck. Self-creation says truth always remains. Truth more you talk. It's become more clear and clear. Is that so? Ask anybody else in the room if they agree with you. You might find an answer you weren't prepared for. John says, "Sss." And Dana says, a man who asks a question might look like a fool for a minute, but the man who doesn't ask will be a fool for his life. That's very astute, Dana. Thank you. Amanda says, exactly, Dana. Self jumped again. I'll find it. Hang on. All right, here we are. Self-creation says, everything is going perfect in this world according to belief systems. If not, why? Please start your questions with a question instead of a statement, because I don't really know exactly what you're asking. No, everything in this world is not perfect. We live in a fallen world. This is a fallen society. It is not perfect. It is evil, in fact, as are most of the people in it. I am desperately reaching out to those few who are not evil to see if we can come to some consensus of understanding, which is why I do what I do. Why is it not perfect? I'll tell you why. Because God gave you free will, which means you can make any decision you want. It's your ship. You can sail it across the 7 seas, or you can turn it and drive that sucker right into the rocks. Either way, God will let you do it. But what does that imply? It implies that in order for you to love God willingly, you must have the choice to not love God willingly. And in his infinite wisdom, he gave you that choice. He gave you the best and the worst. And all the way back in the Garden of Eden, back in the very first week that we were created, God said, this is the tree of life. Of it you may partake, and everything else in the garden. You can have anything you want. But stay away from that bad stuff over there. Don't touch it. Don't partake of it. Leave it alone. It's not for you. Don't do it. I forbid you to do it. What is that? That's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's the things that we all indulge in on a daily basis. Why do we indulge in it? Because we couldn't stand it. When God said don't, we did. And that's why the world is not perfect. Because most of us make the wrong choice. And John hits me with a $2 super chat and says, God has your back. Biden doesn't get right with God. Amen, John. And thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you very much, John. Dana says, intelligent children ask many questions, and this is why they are intelligent. Amen. Doesn't mean they need to be on ADD drugs. It means that they're smart if they're hyperactive and inquisitive. Christine says, the angry man is just this man that has some pretty good knowledge. He's kind of right all the time, like you are. Thank you. I'd be interested in watching that. Amanda says, yes, Dana, that's why they call the kids sponges. They soak up everything. And John says, Dana, my mother taught Bible school and was brilliant. She was brilliant. I was always asking her questions. Makes you brilliant too there, John. God bless your mom, Dana says. Jordan says a lot of anti-Jesus stuff comes from the rabbinical Judaism, where they teach Jesus did black magic and Mary was a prostitute and blah, 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 blah. Most of those lies can be traced all the way back to that. I agree, and they are incorrect. You can trace the existence of Jesus and Mary much, much further back than the rabbinical schools. And by the way, Judaism rejected Christ. while he was here. So they have their lot in life just like we do. Self-creation says, Britishers, whatever that means. During the Second Boer War in 1899 and 1902, the British rounded up around a sixth of the Boer population, mainly women and children, and detained them in camps. So, I'm not British and I don't care. Which were overcrowded and prone to outbreaks of disease with scant food rations, or the 107,000 people interned in the camps. 27,927 Boers died, along with an unknown number of black Africans. Again, so you think that's the only calamity that ever happened in the world? It's not. Amanda says, I love being around Jake. He is very intelligent and has taught me so much on many, many subjects. And I can ask him to explain anything, and he does without making you feel dumb. Oh, that's so sweet, and thank you. And John says, yes, Jake, she's really good people, the date. As for the rest, a gentleman never tells. Congratulations. And thank you for being respectful for her. And I really hope that it leads to a second and third and fourth date. And I hope you guys hit it off well. Amanda says, woohoo, you go, John. LOL. You are correct. 100%. 8-Ball, is this a great community? And 8-Ball says, it might actually be. Yes. Jordan says, yep, a Zoomer is Generation Z from 97 to 98 is generally considered the cutoff for millennials. Yeah, that's weird. I've always thought millennials were born post-2000, but I guess they took it back to the 90s. But the word millennial suggests they were born in the millennium, which is weird why they would call them that. But I didn't name it. Jack says, what do you take money? What do you take money for? What do you take, money or the Bible? And if you choose money, would you use it for sin? These is for everyone in the chat. I don't think I understand exactly what you're asking. Are you saying, do I take money for what I teach? Not exactly. I'll put it to you like this. This is a church. All right? This is a ministry. This is my personal ministry that I've chose to do 7 years ago is when I started. I worked for 7 years for free. And then people started supporting me. And I always let it be known that I need support because I'm spending an exorbitant amount of time and energy to learn the things that I need to know to be able to answer your questions as you throw them at me. Sometimes there's 2,000 or 3,000 people in the chat, and I have to be able to answer every one of them. I can't leave a question unanswered. Every question I try to answer. So it takes a lot of effort. And also, all of this stuff ain't free. I had to buy all of it myself. I built this studio that we're in out of money out of my pocket to do something for you for free. So I teach the Bible for free. And I tell everybody, and I've said it many, many times, what I teach is free. It's for you. I'm doing it for you. But if you have the means and you want to support me in my endeavors, by all means, we are in a spiritual war, and we all need to pick a battle to fight. And if you can't fight, you need to carry bullets. And if you can't carry bullets, you need to make sandwiches or do something because you're on the front lines of that fight, whether you want to be or not. And if you want to support the things you love, or if you feel led to send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings to this ministry, you can do so. And you can do so by sending them there. to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband, or if you're a Cash App user, $jakejohnsonband. And every little bit helps. It is a win-win. You can also super chat. You can also support the show by buying merch in the links below. You can also support the show by joining the show. If you wish to do that, you can. I never put a dollar amount on it. I never ask for money. I only tell you that this requires effort. And if you want to help support it, just like PBS, I'm brought to you by viewers just like you. These few dollars that I make from the people that super chat me is how I'm able to keep bringing this messages to you. I can't do it for free. I can't work for nothing. But I am working. So if you want to help support that, you can. I hope that answers your question. I was a little unsure what you meant, but I think I answered that right. And no, I would not use it for sin. I would use it for my light bill and for my internet bill, which costs money, and for a new computer maybe one day. So I'm using a 2008 computer, if that'll tell you anything. I need a vehicle. It may go to that. Things like that. That's what the money's for. The money is not to buy God. The money is to help support the pastor. Even the Bible will tell you that. You help support the pastor, he will help support the community. That's how it works. Amanda says, the Bible, because the Bible will take you farther in life than money ever will. Well, maybe I answered that wrong, and if so, I apologize and misunderstood. Take the Bible every day. Money means nothing. You can't take it with you when you die. The Bible says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's. So you use your money in the system, but you give your heart to God. You give your mind to God. And Amanda says, woohoo, thanks, John. And yes, thank you for the super chat. Jack says, I'm about to go to the beach right now. It's super hot. And then hit the swimming pool and then get something to eat. See ya. Nice talking to you. Nice to talk to you too, Jack. Enjoy your swim. John says, you're most welcome. Bye, Jack. And Amanda says, good night, Jack. That sounds so fun. Enjoy. See you next time. And Jordan says, Jake, yes, but nobody takes responsibility for that because it happens to white South Africans, and they are the black sheep. Boers were Dutch South Africans. Even the Dutch don't help them. Well, here's a thing you may understand or may not. Every culture, every color of skin, every society has had slaves. All of them. That's where the word slave comes from, the word Slavic, which means white people. So the black people are relatively new slaves, right? They were doing the slaving in the old days. They became slaves in the newer days. Read the Bible. People go through periods of that where they get taken into slavery, they get conquered, and then they're slaves for a while, and then they win, and then they become the kings of the world for a while, and they live in a great society, and then they turn against God, and God punishes them, and they go back into slavery. Or some such. Amanda says, hi, softball. Welcome back. Softball, did I miss one? No, I can't go back up. I ain't got time. There you are. Softball says, hey, do you remember me? Yes, the chicken farmer. Amanda says, I do. And Softball says, yay. Self-creation says, are evolution and creation the same thing? Absolutely not. Evolution is based on a non-educated dude with no job making stuff up about finches. Creation is based on God, who left a book detailing that creation. They're not the same thing. Jordan says, the idea of would you talk to Jesus or would you have $1 million? You always take the money if you are a God-fearing Christian because you will commune with the Lord later. I think there's a more diplomatic way around that. I think I would take the money and then talk to God about it. No, if you gave me a choice over anything versus meeting Jesus, I'm picking Jesus every time. 𝕂𝕕𝕃𝕚𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕊𝕥𝕣𝕖 says, is USA still a Christian country? No, unfortunately not, 𝕂𝕕𝕃. It was founded as a country based on Christian ideals. It has freedom of religion, so you can believe whatever you want, but the society was founded on Christian beliefs. But that hasn't been the case since the 50s. So, unfortunately, atheists have basically taken over the world, and now they're suffering because of it. And some of them are starting to come around and see the error of their ways. Amanda says, no such thing as evolution. Right. Dana says, self-creation? No, they are definitely diametrically opposed to one another. Yeah, they're not the same thing. Evolution is all about death bringing life into the world, and God is all about life bringing death into the world. There's two different things going on there. Amanda says, he's behind in chat. Give him a minute to get to your question, softball. I will. And John says, money and the Bible are inanimate objects. If you take them at face value, the fool will take the money every time. If you take the wealth of the Bible, it's worth far more than paper. Very true. You can learn a whole lot more about life in the Bible than you ever will with money. Softball says, okay. Jordan says, self? No, not really. Evolution is basically tried to ignorantly discredit the Bible. It's not hard to just see God's work in the world, but some people are blind. Amen. Surf says maybe God came first. Obviously, God came first. Jordan says, yes, he did, self. God is, was, and always has been, and always will be. He transcends time, space, and matter, and the carnal realm altogether. True. He's outside of all of those things. I am the Alpha and the Omega, says God, the beginning and the ending. Furthermore, I tell the ending from the beginning. Go read the Bible. It's actually true. I break that down in episode 422 if you want to go check it out. Genesis 1:1 is an hour long of me explaining to you exactly what that's one sentence, how much information is in it. And that will give you an idea of how specific Hebrew is and why the Bible is true. Because every letter means something. And put together, it means something else. Jordan says, we were slaves before it was cool. Right. Wow, self-creation. And Dana says, I am Slavic. Yes, you are. And am I incorrect? Is that not where the term slave comes from? Softball says, sorry, I left for a second. Do you remember me? Again, yes. Woohoo, you made it to the bottom of the chat. Excellent. Now can I go to bed? All right. Guys, it has been a blast. I love each and every one of you. Thank you all for the super chats. I appreciate it. We made $40 tonight. Thanks a lot. I do appreciate that. That'll go nicely towards my land taxes, which is not free. John says, sorry, I'd have said much more, but when I noticed the fat finger syndrome starts causing typos, it's a sign to quit. Where in the basement? Woohoo. Right? I understand. I got the fat fingers too. And the numb fingers. Anyway, as I was saying, Linda Davis says, good night all. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much for being here. As all of you, thank you for being here. God bless you all. We made 569 views tonight on a Friday night. That's pretty sweet. Thank you all. And join us tomorrow night for a brand new show, Politics, episode 3, where it's going to go off the rails political. So come join us for that. Scott says, good night, chat. Amanda says, good night, chat. Politics tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been fun. It'll be fun tomorrow. Come hang out with us. Have a great night. God bless each and every one of you. May his grace abound in your lives, and may his Shekinah glory light your footsteps every which way you decide to go. And while you're out there going, I want you to do me a personal favor. Be nice to somebody, because if you don't, you're going to find out. Anyway, be nice to somebody and watch that change your life. I promise you it will. Just be nice. Just let your inner light shine. Just let your glory come out. And I promise it'll change your life. Join us tomorrow night and then Sunday night for some real Bible study. Have a great night. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching.